If you bleed silver and black, then subscribe to the Las Vegas Raiders Report. I've made over 1,000 videos on this channel, and if you're always looking for the latest news, rumors, if you want the latest going on around the draft, free agency, there's not another channel out there that keeps you updated. So hit that big red button that says subscribe. Turn on those notifications just in case there is some breaking news. But I'm going to be doing a video that I've literally never done before, so make sure you stay tuned and watch the entire thing. No matter the location, from OKLA to LV, I'm a Raider. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and on today's show, we're going to be doing a Raiders Creators mock draft. So I went out there, I asked 10 other Raiders creators, whether they're on Instagram, Twitter, and I was like, hey, do you want to participate in my mock draft here? So basically what I'm going to be able to do here is I asked each person to go ahead and make a pick, and then I'm going to go ahead and react to every single pick, and then at the very, very end, I'm going to tell you what I give this mock draft grade. So obviously the Raiders here, you're sitting, you got 8 picks in the 2021 NFL draft, and it's pretty crazy to think about. We're less than 2 weeks away, and I don't know about you, man, I'm getting really, really nervous about it here. So when you look at all the picks, they don't have a pick in the 7th round, but they got 2 picks in the 5th. So the people that are going to be making the picks on today's episode, at pick number 17, my man Sanjit does an incredible job, always on Twitter and on Instagram. Raider Scout is one of my dudes on IG. Marcus Mosher, you can find him on Twitter. Graphic Raider 916, that's his Instagram account down there. And then the last 4 picks, Raider Honcho, I did a show with him about 2 weeks ago now at this point. Had an awesome time. Dark Side TV, Samoan Raider, you can find their Instagram handles here. And then at the end, Spotlight, Raider Nation Talk. He also has a YouTube show, does a lot of great content over there. So what I want you guys to do is this. Like, I know a lot of people probably know about the Raiders Report, my show, like, which is great. But I also want to give these guys some love too. So if you have a Twitter, click that share button. Click this Twitter icon, and then click post to Twitter. I want you guys to get word out on this mock draft, and the more people we can get reacting to it, that would be great. If you don't have a Twitter, I get it. I know a lot of people don't. Seriously, go also ahead and put it on Facebook. You click share button, select the Facebook icon, and then click post to Facebook. It's a really simple task, and if you do it, it would help me out, and it also helps the guys out a lot, because that's why we did this, because I wanted to get more people interacting here on the Raiders Report. All right, at pick number 17 here in this Raiders mock draft, Sanjit's going to go with Christian Barmore, defensive tackle from Alabama. I think that he is a violent rusher who gets off the ball very quickly. I mean, he's a big dude who is really able to get his momentum going forward, which is why he is the best defensive tackle in this year's class. He has powerful hands to get off blockers, which is definitely something that is very important to do, especially on the interior defensive line. He can be a little bit inconsistent in the running game at times, but he has an extremely high ceiling. So why did Sanjit decide to go ahead and draft Barmore here at pick number 17? He went along and said, the Raiders have brought in 3 defensive linemen this offseason, but none have the ceiling that Christian Barmore has. Barmore is an explosive 3-tech pass rushing defensive tackle. He plays with great pad level, is fluid in his movement, and has an explosive first step. The redshirt sophomore will only get stronger at the next level. He is a day 1 starter for the Las Vegas Raiders. And I totally agree with that statement that he is a day 1 starter for the Raiders. So what I want you guys to do, and I'm going to literally ask you for every single one of these picks to go down in the comments and grade it. But I'm also going to ask you for every single one, give me an A, B, C, D, or F, so I understand which guys you're talking about. When I go down and look at the comments, I want you to put the player's name, so Barmore, and then the player's grade. If you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. The grade that I'm going to give Sanjit here is a B+. Barmore is one of my favorite prospects. There's no doubt about that. And he is my top DT. However, he did pass on some other players that I was kind of hoping that he would go that route. But with the Raiders moving on from somebody like Mo Hurst, this just adds a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more depth on the defensive line. Let's now go to the second pick here in round 48. My man Raider Scout's going to go with offensive tackle Liam Eichenberg from Notre Dame. He's a very fundamentally sound blocker who shows like phenomenal awareness. Like, it's actually amazing at times where there's like a guy coming off a blitz and Liam's like, hold on, I got you there. And that's what he's great at. He started 38 games at left tackle. Some people might say that I don't know if he can play right tackle. I'm telling y'all right now, Liam Eichenberg can play right tackle. He'd be able to pick it up. He's great pass blocker, average run blocker. These are also my notes, not Raider Scouts. So I was like, okay, my man, why are you going to go with Liam Eichenberg here at pick number 48? He goes along and says, after adding more depth to the pass rush at 17, the Raiders look to fix their only remaining issue on the offensive line in a right tackle. None better than Notre Dame's Liam Eichenberg. He's a dominant run blocker and can hold his own in pass protection. He's the prototypical Gruden/Cable tackle, standing at 6'6", 315 pounds, 33-inch arms, and an insane athletic profile. He fills the void left after the failed Trent Brown saga. Eichenberg and Miller will form a dominant tackle duo for years to come, and the Raiders have solidified hard-working bookends to protect Derek Carr and help Drake and Josh in the run game. So what did you guys think about this pick here with Eichenberg at 48 overall? A, B, C, D, or F? Go down in the comments and let me know. And if Eichenberg is too hard for you to spell, you can either look at the screen or you go ahead and type Liam and then the grade below. The grade I'm going to give this is another B+. I thought it was a good pick here. I like Eichenberg a lot. He's my 6th offensive tackle. At least that's what I would take off the board. But the only reason why I'm going to give it a B+, he chose Eichenberg over somebody like Richie Grant. I have Richie Grant a little bit higher on my board, but I will say this, the safety that we get in this mock draft makes me feel a little bit better. At pick number 79 in round 3, Marcus Mosher here is going to go with cornerback Paulson Adebo from Stanford. He's got great size, which Bradley, I'm telling you what right now, is definitely going to be able to look for. A lot of people will throw out the Richard Sherman comp just simply because they both went to Stanford. They're long, lanky, but Adebo just simply doesn't have the athletic ability that Sherman has, but he is a good player. And it's funny, I actually talked about Adebo literally 2 years ago, potentially going in the first round, because that's where he was mocked in Mel Kiper's, one of Mel's mocks for the Raiders. Then he opted out in 2020. Remarkable ball skills, 34 pass breakups into 22 games. I do think if they go this route, if the Raiders then also go out and sign somebody like Richard Sherman, that could really help. The issue is this. He does definitely struggle against shifty receivers, and he's definitely been burnt once or twice as well. So do you guys like this pick here of Paulson Adebo here at number 79? A, B, C, D, or F. As a reminder, Adebo, and then the grade down below. So unfortunately for Marcus, he didn't give me a write-up, and that's all good. I mean, maybe he's a busy guy here and there. It's totally understandable. I'm going to give it a B- grade here for Adebo. It fills a need, but it also is a little bit higher than I would have taken him personally. He's a round 3 style of corner. I think he could also go in round 4. It was a good pick, but there were some other players left on the board that I might have actually gone with instead. Now, if you guys love the NFL draft, there's no better place to subscribe than on Chat Sports. It's our main YouTube channel here. And the reason why it's the best channel is because we've literally been the most watched NFL draft coverage for 3 straight years. So if you like what we do on the Raiders Report, you're going to absolutely love our draft coverage. We actually get the picks like minutes before you see them on TV. Sometimes we're a round, 2 rounds. Last year, there was a point where, not rounds, picks. We were 3 picks ahead of what you would have seen on television. Plus, it's an interactive show. Sometimes we get 60,000 live watching at one time. Not 6,000, 60,000 watching at one time. We'll get over 1 million viewers. Please, go ahead, subscribe, join our draft coverage. I'll be there as well, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Pick number 80 in round 3, safety from Indiana, Jamar Johnson. If you're looking for a true ball-hawking safety, this is exactly what you're getting here. 13 interceptions in 4 years, and he would be a great fit and what Bradley's really trying to do at the position. Plus, he has some playing experience in the slot, which is definitely something that I know Bradley and something that I definitely know Gruden are going to be looking for, because it's something that they tried to do last season with somebody like LaMarcus Joyner. Now, I will say this. He's a bad tackler, struggles stopping the run. But to be that true center fielder that I'm looking for in a Gus Bradley system, guess what? I'm kind of okay with it, right? Because that's where Abram can come in and start laying the wood. So shout out to my man, Graf. I was like, Graf, I need a write-up. I need you to know why you're going with Jamar Johnson at 80. And this dude, I don't know if he just was hitting the return button or the period button. So bear with me. This is exactly what he sent me. Jamar Johnson, ball hawk, needs to work on tackling, grade and coverage. Pro comp in my eyes is John Johnson III. Can see him being the perfect complement to Jonathan Abram, rising up boards because of great instincts and athleticism. Also great spelling on Jonathan there, Graf. Gus Bradley can turn him into a special player, known for drafting safeties in mid-round and turning them into Pro Bowl caliber secondary players. That's why my man Graphic Grader, who also does the music before the show started, and why he decided to draft Johnson at number 80. All right, so again, back to school here. Johnson at 80 overall. A, B, C, D, or F. And I'll tell you what, the more and more tape I've watched on this kid, he might not be the best safety for a lot of other teams, but he's really starting to creep up my board. I might actually start to put him here in the top 5 in terms of safeties the Raiders should draft to fit the Gus Bradley system, because that's what's important, fitting the Gus Bradley system. So my grade here is an A grade. I thought this was really good value, and it's funny because Honcho Raider, he's next up here. When he saw the pick by Jamar Johnson, he was like, damn, Graf had that really easy, and I'm kind of with him. Johnson fell into his lap here, a good player at 80 overall, and as you could see in the numbers here, a good ball-hawking safety that I think if you don't pick a safety with those first 3 picks, getting Johnson with that 4th pick, round 3, pick 80, that's really going to be a solid pick. All right, let's go down to pick 121 and round 4. This one is from Raider Honcho. It's one of my guys on YouTube, and you can also find him on Twitter and IG as well. He's going to go with linebacker from Georgia, Monty Rice. This guy, the easiest way to put it is just a straight-up freight train. He goes north to south, and he just loves laying the wood. Like, he loves tackling people. He actually might be the most physical linebacker in this year's draft. Now, he's super hyper-competitive, like really competitive player. Sometimes that bites him in the butt a little bit. It reminds me here and there when you see Jonathan Abram, he's like, oh, I get to go hit somebody? Okay, awesome. But that does sometimes lead to overcommitment. That does sometimes lead to him missing exactly what he's trying to do. And I say all the time here, the best linebackers in Gus Bradley's system move sideline to sideline. That's not what Monty Rice is. However, you saw the Raiders want to be able to bring in a thumper linebacker last year with Raekwon McMillan. It's kind of what Monty Rice kind of reminds me of here. So why did Honcho decide to pick him at 121? Monty Rice, a 2020 first-team All-SEC linebacker, is dynamic run and chase defender who excels in the run defense as well in coverage. At 6'1", 235-pound, Rice runs a 4.5 40 and possesses athleticism that gives him the ability to cover sideline to sideline. While excellent in pursuit, Rice also ranked top 5 in forced fumbles last year due to his strong hands and great explosion at the point of attack. Very instinctive, Rice diagnoses plays quickly, which allows him to make big plays behind the line of scrimmage. Ideal scheme fit is a 4-3. The last part here by Honcho, who definitely got his words worth, with the Raiders being razor thin at the linebacker position, combined with Rice's special team experience, it's likely Rice sees the field sooner rather than later. So what do you guys think about this Monty Rice pick at 121 overall? I want you to give it an A, B, C, D, or F. And as a reminder, the later on you get in drafts, the later on you start to get down in the picks. Obviously, these players aren't as athletic, but it's more about how can they fit with our team, how do they fit with depth, and do they actually have the upside like a player like a Max Crosby, who you can draft in round 4, who turns out to be one of your better players. So A, B, C, D, or F. Honcho, my man, I'm going to give you a B grade here. I like Rice a lot. And also, Monty's a good player too. But when I think about the need here at linebacker, you have Morrow, you have some of these other players. But the concern is this, is he going to be able to play over guys like, still, don't forget, Tanner Muse is still there. Javen White, I actually might think is a better fit in terms of what Bradley's trying to do. Do I think Monty Rice might be the better thumper to come in like on that 3rd down, 4th and 1 short game? Yes. Do I also think he could be a good special teams player? Yes, I do. Good depth player. I'm going to go ahead and give it a B grade. All right, that means Dark Side TV, you're on the clock here. Round 5, pick 162. He's also going to go with a linebacker here at a TCU, Garret Wallow. He is extremely active and covers a lot of green. Like, you're going to watch TCU tape. Like, obviously, I know a lot of y'all have been watching Merrick. Go watch Wallow because he's flying all over the football field. This, though, to me, is somebody that could be a great special teams player. And when I think of a good comp for him, he kind of reminds me a lot of Tanner Muse. And that's not a disrespect to him. Remember, Tanner Muse was a 5th-round prospect in my original grading. And I don't know if Wallow would see that much playing time on the actual field, but he would see a significant amount of playing time in special teams. And a super active style does lead to once in a while over pursuing and really poor angles. So why did Darkside TV go here with Garret? Besides being one of the most prolific tacklers in the Big 12, Wallow can help solidify the leadership role from the linebacker position. He can play sideline to sideline and is physical in coverage. And I feel that's a big need with the Raiders linebackers that can cover. Period. Exclamation point. I'm with you there on that one. All right, so A, B, C, D, or F here from the TCU linebacker, Garret Wallow. What did you guys think of the pick? I also don't want you to think about just the player itself because my grade, he's a good player, But the reason why I am giving this a C grade is because I don't see the Raiders doing 2 linebackers here. That sounds bad. Taking 2 linebackers in this year's draft. Wallow is a good player, but if you're going to go with one player and Monty Rice, who's a much different type of prospect, this also to me is saying this, that you lost on Tanner Muse because they wanted to turn Muse into a linebacker. If you're taking 2 guys in the next year's draft, that means you're punting on Tanner Muse. That means you missed on him, which is pretty sad because you traded up for him in round 3, pick 100. Let's go to pick 167 here in the 5th round. My man Samoa Raider, this one's going to be 5 Mayock legs. Going to go Chuba Hubbard here, above average speed with solid patience. I agree in all of that. Over 2,000 rushing yards in 2019, and I don't know who his agent is, but whoever his agent was and told this man to go back to college football after leading basically everyone in rushing yards, shame on you. Hubbard would have been, I think, I don't know if he would have been a first-round pick, but he probably would have been, he definitely would have been a day 2 pick, but round 2, round 3 type of player. What scares me is this. He's got bad balance, which is definitely something that's important at the running back position. Plus, a lot of wear and tear on those tires here. So why did my dude Samoan Raider decide to go out and draft Hubbard at 167 overall? I feel the Raiders will most likely part ways with Jalen Richard, which would free up $3.5 million in cap space. They already signed a versatile back in Kenyon Drake that can do what Richard can and more, so I feel like they will turn the draft to find his replacement. He also said this, Hubbard's an explosive running back and is not afraid of contact. Despite his lack in size, he makes up for it in his playmaking ability. I see a lot of Devontae Booker in his game. The good thing about this pick is that he can develop behind Jacobs and Drake as a rotational back until his number is called. Now, I do agree with a lot of things that he said about being a, kind of a running back comp to Devontae Booker. My only concern is this, Booker's a good running back, but I don't really know if it's the pick that I personally would have went with. So let me know down in those comments, please, again, Hubbard and then A, B, C, D, or F. The reason why I'm going to go ahead and give this a C grade is because I don't know if the running back position is the pick that I would go with in the 5th round. Maybe you wait until the 6th, but until Jalen Richard is moved on from, he's still there, and I don't want to have another running back just because I don't know if he's ever going to get playing time. Plus, the other thing that really scares me about him, I don't know how he's going to hold up in the NFL because not that he's a tiny running back, but if you go back and watch the tape from 2019 to 2020, he's I don't want to say a totally different running back, but he lost a lot of burst. And I think it's because he had one really, really big workload, and he got beat up a little bit. That's why I'm going to give it a C grade. All right, the last pick here for the Raiders mock draft from all these creators from my man Spotlight Raiders Talk, and he's going to go with Jacoby Stevens, safety out of LSU. Physical safety. And I mean absolutely fearless in run support. This is the dude where if you're telling him, he's jumping out of a plane, all right? Stay with me here. He's the type of dude that would jump out of a plane just to tackle somebody. Absolutely fearless. He is a less athletic version of Jonathan Abram. He's a little bit bigger than Abram, but I wouldn't rely on him whatsoever to cover in the NFL. This would be simply a special teams and depth type of move, but that's okay at pick 200 in round 6. Plus, he was also named one of the LSU captains. That's why he was able to wear the number 7. So he's 6'1", 212 pounds. That is large. Tough safety who best makes plays in the box or up the field. Instinctive, plays heads-up football, and does a good job with coverage assignments facing the action. Physical, works hard, and fires up the field defending the run. Breaks down well and works his hands to protect himself or get off the blocks. He can come in and be a great depth piece for the Raiders. That's Spotlight's take on why he decided to take Jacoby Stevens at pick number 200. So what did you guys think about this move here? A, B, C, D, or F? He's obviously not one of my top safeties. I believe when I go through my rankings, he's probably ranked number 20. But if you can find a leader who is physical and adds just a little bit more depth at that position, I'm okay with it, which is why I'm going to give this a B- grade here. 63 tackles last season, no interceptions, the 4 pass breakups, but he's a big dude. He is a large safety, and with some of the injuries that we've seen to Abram, with a guy like Carl Joseph coming back, I mean, if these guys go down, you can insert Stevens in there. Plus, he does have some ability there to go out and play special teams. This is the type of dude where on those kick returns, on those punt returns, you're like, Stevens, go get him. He's going to be done. I'm all there for it. All right, so we're going to wrap up this mock draft again. You got Barmore at 17, Eichenberg at 48, Paulson Adebo at 79, Jamar Johnson at pick number 80, Monty Rice goes 121, Garret Wallow Chuba Hubbard. Those are the 2 picks in the 5th round. And then Jacoby Stevens, safety out of LSU, to wrap this thing up. So what did you guys think about the mock draft? I want you to rate it. Okay, 0 to 100. We're going back to school. 0, if you ever got that on a test, you'd be pretty upset. 100 was it was an absolute perfect thing, slam dunk. I'm going to go ahead and give this an 84 grade for me. It was a B. It was good. It was bad. I like some of the picks. But if you made it this far in the video, if you could, please go ahead and like it. Go ahead and share it. And make sure you hit that big red button that says subscribe. I want to say thank you to everyone that participated. And if you want to see more videos like this on the channel, go down in the comments, let me know, and go ahead and subscribe. We got to spread the word, my man.